Hello YouTube, Rocket3 here. Starting first Pokemon battle. ExternalOmega on the right, Steven on the left. ExternalOmega has no basics, so Steven gets to draw an extra card. Impressive. Of course, Omega has to shuffle his hand into his deck and draw a new one. Yes, ExternalOmega is using his Grass Blade deck, and Steven on the left is using the Mountain Crusher deck. Pretty intense. Steven's main card is Tyranitar, and ExternalOmega's main card is Scizor. It would seem they both set their basics and active, and now it is time to flip. ExternalOmega calls odd, and he gets to choose who goes first, and he chooses himself. He reveals Pineco as his basic with Sentret on his bench, and Steven has a Belgium on his bench, and Mischievous as his active Pokemon. So it's Psychic against Grass and Normal right now. ExternalOmega is attaching a Steel Energy to his Pineco. Well, that seems to be the end of his turn. He's not attacking. Can't tell why. He could attack. Alright, we have a Psychic Energy on Mischievous. And he's using Sharpshooting, which can do 10 damage to a Pokemon on the bench or the active. And he does 10 damage to Sentret. ExternalOmega draws and plays Scyther on his bench. Then he evolves his Pineco into a Fortress, probably his plan. The entire time, no wonder he did not use Focus Energy. It would have been completely useless. But of course he attached that Metal Energy and used the Professor Elm's training method to get an Evolution card out of his deck and add it to his hand. I'm sure he has something in mind. Seems to be taking him a while to locate the card. Maybe it's a prize card. Going through his deck a second time. And I'd say it must be a prize card. It looks like he's pulling a Scizor. Very fancy. And he puts the Scizor into his hand. Alright, he shuffles his deck, and he's going to have Steven cut it, because we're filming this in preparation for a Pokemon trading card game tournament, where lots of trainers like you to cut their decks. So Fortress uses Mirror Shot, which does 30 damage, and Steven's defending Pokemon has to flip for heads, which in our case, heads are even numbers. And if it's heads, he can attack, and tails, he can do nothing. And of course, Walt has to discard his supporter. He evolves into Miss Magus. Excellent move on his part. And a Psychic Energy on Beldum, preparing him to become the active Pokemon later in the game, perhaps. Oh, he's using Psychic Pulse, which would do 30, but does 10 because of Fortress's resistance. But let's see if the attack even works. And he got a 3, an odd number, so his attack does nothing. He does not get to do 10 damage to Sentret, despite his beliefs. His attack does nothing. None done to Sentret, and none done to Fortress. ExternalOmega is safe for now. He plays Interviewer's Questions, so that he can look at the top 8 cards of his deck and pick any energy out of there he wants, and then of course shuffle the rest back into his deck for later. Let's see just how many he gets. He has his 8 cards and 4 energies. Okay, a rainbow energy, a metal energy, and 2 steel energy. Great pull, especially for this deck. Extremely well played. Alright, Steven cuts his deck again and threatens to cut ExternalOmega. He has evolved his Scyther, about time, the Scizor, and puts metal energy on him, so now all attacks do 10 less damage to him. And a mirror shot does damage to Miss Magius, 30, so now it has 60 damage on it. And he has to flip to see if he can attack again this turn. Another psychic energy on Beldum, and he's evolving him into Metang. So he is prepared to have his Miss Magius knocked out. Steven is deciding what he should do. And he's going to try for Psychic Pulse. Let's see what happens. It's heads. Very good. So it does 10 to Fortress because of his resistance, and then does 10 to Sentret because of its ability. Now Sentret had 20 damage. Alright, ExternalOmega is making his move. And he's adding another energy onto Scizor. This one does not add to his defense. And his Fortress uses Mirror Shot, taking out the Miss Magius and scoring ExternalOmega a prize card. That is the first prize card of the game, folks. And it is ExternalOmega's, so now he is in the lead, winning by 1 prize card. He attaches an energy, and Steven requests reading the Fortress. Probably attempting to find a loophole in the move, but he is unsuccessful. He uses Psy Punch. And of course he has to roll because Fortress's effect carries over to Metang because it's still the defending Pokemon. And it gets head, it hits, and it does 30 damage because of Fortress's resistance. And now it is ExternalOmega's turn. Hopefully Steven can get some Pokemon on that bench soon, because if he loses his Metang, then it is all over for him. Oh, and it seems it would be all over anyways, because ExternalOmega has played his Groudon Kyogre Legend card. Extremely powerful, and he attaches a rainbow energy to it. And it does 10 damage to his Legend, of course. I'd say the Legend can handle that, don't you? I mean, it has 170 HP, I believe. And he puts Smeargle on his bench just for safekeeping. Smeargle has a kicking ability. Perhaps we'll get to see it later in the game. Alright, Mirror Shot for 30 to Metang. And Steven has to roll to attack next turn once again. Steven makes a draw, and hopefully we get a basic. Yes! A Miss Magus on the bench. Not Miss Magus, Mr. Viss. Sorry. Everyone, Miss tongue-tied. It's a difficult name. Mistress on the bench here. Very good. Now he's not completely open. Now he has to roll to see if he can attack again. And is he going to be able to use his Psy Punch? The answer? 30 damage to ExternalOmega. There we go. Alright. Looks like Fortress is almost out. ExternalOmega's move. Rainbow energy on his Legend, which is another 10 damage to it. And he's using Mirror Shot once again. 30 more damage, and Steven has to roll to attack again. It seems he's using his Fortress to stall while he gets energy for his Legends. Very clever strategy. Especially since Fortress can take a lot of damage. Alright, you see that fighting energy on Mr. Viss? And he's going to try another side punch with his Matang. Let's see if he attacks. Oh, it is successful. Very good. And there goes Fortress! Oh, and Steven gets to take a prize card. It is about time. Alright, ExternalOmega sends up his Scizor. Let's see what draws, if he uses it at all. Yep, Metal Energy on Scizor, so that he can use Metal Claw. 80 damage straight up. There goes Matang. And he gets the card he was looking for earlier, a Scizor Prime. Whew. Hopefully, Steven will be able to hold his own against that. Okay, he puts a Beldum and Larvitar on the bench to keep himself safe. Let's get a fighting energy on that Larvitar. It'll be able to attack. Dark Spell Pokepower on his Mr. Viss. So he flips a coin, or in our case, rolls a dice. And if it is head, he gets 1 damage counter on his opponent's Pokemon. Of his choice, of course. Let's see what he pulls out of this hat. Oh, he... Ooh, did not work. Ooh, ExternalOmega drew a Legend Box, which is useless now. But he can put Metal Energy on his Groudon Kyogre Legend. Now his Scizor is using Metal Claw on Mr. Viss, completely knocking it out. 1-hit KO, everyone. And he sends up his Beldum, probably to stall so he can beef up his Larvitar. Because that Beldum is definitely not going to hold his own. Professor Ohm's training method, just as I suspected. He'll probably be trying to get out of Pupitar. Yes, Professor Ohm's training method allows him to search his deck for an evolution and then shuffle his deck. Ah yes, Pupitar! There it is! Just as I suspected. Alright. ExternalOmega has to cut Steven's deck, which is technically not a rule of Pokemon, but still, not bad when you're playing a tournament. Alright, he has evolved to the Larvitar. Good move, good move. Steven might be able to hold his own yet. What is he going to do now? Can he do any more? Oh! Very excellent move, Steven. He's attached a fighting energy to Beldum so that he can use Call for family. That allows him to search his deck for a basic Pokemon and add it to his bench. Which will be great, because after this Beldum is knocked out, he'll have to send up Pupitar, and if that Pupitar is knocked out before he gets a basic, then it is all over, no matter how many prize cards either of them has. Because remember, ladies and gentlemen, if you lose your active Pokemon and there's nothing on the bench to send up, then you lose automatically. He has another Larvitar. Excellent move. Very excellent move, as a matter of fact. Alright, ExternalOmega's cutting Steven's deck. And it would be ExternalOmega's turn. And there's no doubt he's going to take out that Beldum. Oh, look at that. Another Metal Energy on his Legend. And now it can use both of its attacks. And they are quite powerful attacks. They can do hundreds of damage. An extremely difficult card to get out, Kyogre Groudon Legend. But ExternalOmega seems to do it with ease. And he's using Metal Claw once again, taking out that Beldum. There it goes, 1-hit KO to add to ExternalOmega's list of 1-hit KOs. He sends up his other Larvitar, not his Pupitar. He must be saving that Pupitar for something. Ah yes, a Psychic Energy on Pupitar. And he leaves his other Larvitar out to die. Well, knock out. But die, definitely. Metal Claw takes out that Larvitar, and now Steven has to send out his Pupitar, and his bench is completely blank. ExternalOmega only has to take one more Pokemon. Ah, he has a Fighting Energy Pupitar, and evolves it into Tyranitar. An excellent move on Steven's part. And he uses Tail Crush on 40. It'll do 20 more damage if he rolls an even number, which we count as heads. And it does 60 damage, minus the 10 for his Special Metal Energy. So that is 50 damage to Scizor. Steven really just brought himself back, completely unexpected. Wow! I did not expect him to be able to get Tyranitar out. Ah, but ExternalOmega plays Team Rocket's Trickery, forcing Steven to discard his Pupitar. Oh. That is the last card Steven had in his hand. He has nothing to play until his next draw. Oh no. ExternalOmega used a trainer card, Pokemon Communication. Oh yes, he puts Pineco back into his deck so that he can get another Pokemon. What could he be looking for? Ah, a Scyther. Yes. And of course, if ExternalOmega sent up that legend, he could take out Steven quickly. But it would appear he's playing it safe by leaving his Scizor out there. Oh yes, the Metal Energy on the Scyther. Alright, Metal Claw from Scizor. Devastating Metal Claw from Scizor to Tyranitar, doing 80 damage. Ah, Life Herb! Steven could turn this game around right now if this is successful. If he rolls heads, he can take 6 damage off of his Tyranitar. Oh, but he rolls an odd number, which counts as a tails, so his Tyranitar keeps all of its damage. He uses Tail Crush again, and, oh, yes, very good, takes out the Scizor. Steven gives himself another prize card. Ah, the Darkest Energy, but this is more than likely Steven's final statement of the game. ExternalOmega sends up his Kyogre Groudon Legend, could easily take out Steven's Tyranitar. And I don't know about you guys, but I am very excited right now. Just make sure he wins. He's forcing Steven to discard another card by playing Team Rocket's Trickery, and ExternalOmega draws 2 cards, which forces Steven to discard his Darkness Energy, which would have been extreme help with his Tyranitar. Oh, he evolves Scyther into his Scizor Prime, his main card. A slap to Steven's genitalia. Oh. It's hard to tell what's going to happen here, folks, but any betting man would bet on ExternalOmega right now. Seems he's taking his sweet, precious time deciding which attack to use. He calls Mega Tidal Wave a bad move, because Steven will have to discard the top 5 cards of his deck, doing 30 damage times the number of energy cards. But that damage would do to his bench Pokemon, which Steven has none of. It would seem ExternalOmega is thinking over this move before he enacts it. Ah, he has decided to use the other attack instead. ExternalOmega really can't seem to make up his mind about this attack or his sexuality. Ah, he appears to be using Mass Eruption. It's 100 times the number of energy cards he discards off the top of his deck. And he has to discard the top 5 cards of his deck, and every energy out of them, 100 damage. He gets a Fortress, a Scyther, a Legend Box, another Fortress, and another Fortress. No damage to Tyranitar. None whatsoever. This is extremely suspenseful. Steven could do some massive damage, especially if he gets a Darkness Energy. It's hard to tell what's going to happen. We'll see what Steven has in store, which I'm sure cannot be much. But who knows? Tail Crush, 60 damage. Ooh, 60 damage to the Legend. That is 80 damage done to the Legend now. The Legend has 80, which is over half. The Legend has 150 HP, but not anymore. It would appear to have 70. It seems this game could turn around. Alright, Massive Eruption again. Let's see what ExternalOmega can do. Team Rocket's Trickery. Ooh, 2 cards. Scyther. 3, his Stadium. 4, his Spirit. And 5, a Pineco. No energy once again. No damage done to Tyranitar. This is starting to look bad for ExternalOmega, but good for Steven. He's using another Tail Crush. And another 60 damage. Whoa! Could Steven turn this game around? The legend only has 10 health points remaining. ExternalOmega could lose his legend his next turn. And he's been discarding his cards rapidly. His deck is getting very thin. Not exactly sure what's happening here. Who could win? It is extremely difficult to tell. Alright, Massive Eruption. And an energy card. Justice Energy Silver, let's see. 200 damage, 300 damage, 400 damage. Oh, 400 damage to Tyranitar. And the deed is done. The game is over. No bench Pokemon. And ExternalOmega's last pry card. Just when Steven found hope, there was no hope to be found. This is intense. Oh, 3 of Steven's prize cards could have turned this game around. Amazing game, everyone. Alright, join us next time